What's happening, people? This is the Lion's Roar vlog, and we are on the first book of Adam and Eve. We're in chapter 20. All of it is posted on my page in a playlist entitled The Books of Adam and Eve. You can go watch from the introduction all the way up to where we are. Please do, because I can't do any recaps. Let's jump right into it. Chapter 20. Adam wishes to protect Eve. Then Adam, and Adam means first man, the first human, first man. And Eve means mother of the living. That was not their names. Adam was not his name. Eve was not her name, okay? Then Adam wept and said, O God, or O Most High, O Highest One, remove us to some other place so that the serpent may not come again near us and rise against us. Remember what happened at the end of chapter 19, okay? The serpent tried to kill them, remember? And then the Spirit of the Most High said, okay, look, I already told you now, you're going to be slithering on that ground and you're going to be eating the dust. Eating the dust is a phrase, or like your face going to be close to that dust. And he was once regal and high, and he should not have been on the ground. That's the whole point. He was going to look totally different. Now he's something different. So, he has some kind of way to communicate and impress and send a vibration to other beings. And the Most High took that from him because he tried to kill Adam and Eve, right? So remember, again, just go listen to all the way up to where we are now, and you'll figure out what's going on. Okay, so Adam is saying, like, look, unless he come and rise against us again, like, send us somewhere else. So Adam continues. Lest it, this is Old English because this was translated into English, okay? So understand, the English did not write this, okay? It was just translated. So bear with me as I break some of these things down, the lest and these and thous and doeths and thouest and there's all those ifs and all that lest and, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I'm just saying, like, hearts, who goes there? Like, just bear with me there. That's Old English because they were translated to English. That's not how they were speaking, okay? That's why we have to break a lot of this stuff down, y'all, because was that culture being honest with us? We know they be lying about everything. They always lying. They always lying, man. The Spirit of the Most High is always telling the truth, so that's how come things are being revealed right now. Let me keep pushing. So lest it find your handmaiden, or your woman, Eve, that creature that you made, Eve, alone, and kill her, for its eyes are hideous and evil. So he's like, man, I remember in the previous chapter, it was talking about how, like, Adam wept at a certain point when they were being engaged by the serpent because he didn't know what to do. He didn't have anything he said he didn't have a stick to strike it. And he was tripping, remember, and then he tried to grab it at the tail. Well, he did grab it at the tail, but even then it came upon him, and the Most High had to send that angel or that being or that word or that power to remove the serpent off of them. So that's very interesting. So he's like, look, man, I don't want to do nothing to me or Eve. Maybe she be by herself and she can't fight it off. So the Most High said to Adam and Eve, but the Most High said to Adam and Eve, henceforth fear not. I will not let it come near you. I have driven it away from you, from this mountain. Neither will I leave it in aught to hurt you. So we're seeing right here, he's like, I have driven it far away. So that's like what I said in the previous video. Sometimes when you hear, when he's like, okay, he sends this angel comes and it throws the serpent off of Adam and Eve. Perhaps that angel means the higher word, the higher function, the higher vibration, the higher spirit, and all things are going to respond to that. I've experienced it in my life. Like when you honor it, you're gonna fall subject to it. If you try to fight against it, it's gonna get you together, and you're gonna know it got you together. So you're still gonna learn, like, not to ignore the voice. The voice of the Most High is still gonna get you where it's still gonna get you together, whether it's declaring punishment or whether it's declaring blessings or anything in between. the angelic or the highest. You have to understand what the word angel means. It's a higher being. It's a higher spiritual being of light, of remember what we're dealing with, what light means. Even in these precious chapters that we're finding here, that we're reading, if you've never heard of them, we're dealing with the separation of light and darkness and what that means. Okay, we're seeing that as layered. We're literally seeing that the Most High was comparing their the contrast of light and dark that they had, with even them not knowing what the sun was. Again, just go back and listen to where we are now. So the comparison of light and dark even itself helps you understand that, like, some of these things, when you're hearing about angels and you're hearing about all these different things, it could be that impulse, that word, that pressure came through from the spirit, and that higher pressure, that higher impulse, that higher word, that higher command, that higher love, that higher accountability, that higher word of punishment comes through. That's it. Ain't nothing happening outside of that. And then sometimes, like the scripture says, okay, if you want to ignore or you don't want to, okay, fine. Then I'll totally, completely remove, anything of my energy from you, my spirit from you, my word from you. And then I'll let you be out there and really figure out how bad you realize that you think. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and do that if you want to. I'd rather have the word of punishment come through than be left alone, because at least I know, hey, that's gonna teach me the lesson that I need to get me together, and I know, hey, it's time for me to climb up, because that left alone stuff, that's how, man. Listen, that be the people who sometimes they don't never climb back up, because they just be out there in the middle of the storm with no protection at all. And even like in a storm, the word of punishment, he's still going to send a way out of the storm, even if you still have to face the fact when you get to the shore, hey, that wreck happened because of you. So we're going to have to talk about this. You're going to have to rebuild that boat now. All that hard work you just did, you're going to have to rebuild that. Go ahead. And then we're going to try this thing again. Try and get you navigating across the smooth waters. You keep on going over here to this storm, right? So that's just a side note, but let's get back to the text. So some of these things are metaphorical. Some of these, not metaphorical in the sense of like, oh, to be dismissive, because that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying that, like, some of these things are like parable driven, like picturesque, if you will. Okay. Then Adam and Eve worshiped before the Most High God and gave him thanks and praised him for having delivered them from death. Okay. Chapter 21. Okay. Adam and Eve attempt suicide. This is not the only time that we saw this, where they just don't, they having a hard time understanding, yo, we just were here, and now we just were of a higher nature. We just had that light of wisdom. We just had the light of understanding. We just knew what we were. Now we're here. So they tripping. So as if you keep up, then, you're hearing and you're seeing that. So then Adam and Eve went in search of the garden, and the heat beat like a flame on their faces, and they sweated from the heat and wept before the Most High, the highest one, or the Lord. But the place where they wept was close to a high mountain, or nigh unto a high mountain, facing the western gate of the garden. Okay. Then Adam threw himself down from the top of that mountain. His face was torn and his flesh was flayed. Much blood flowed from him, and he was close unto death. Man. Meanwhile, Eve remained standing on the mountain, weeping over him, thus lying. And she said, I wish to not live after him, for all that he did to himself was through me. Then she threw herself after him and was torn and scotched by stones, and remained lying as dead, laying there. So Eve was laying out. She was distraught, crying over Adam. They loved each other, and they're seeing each other rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, and so much to the state where they're taking themselves below the even living, close to death. And that's just deep. That's deep right there. That's deep right there. That just struck me at a very serious place right now, you know. And Eve said, okay, but so she threw herself down, and she laid there as if dead. But the merciful God, or the Most High, the Most High God, the merciful, who looks upon his creatures, looked upon Adam and Eve as they lay dead, and he sent his word unto them and raised them. So here we have it right here. Not saying an angel or the word, the high word, the vibration of life, the thing that wakes you up every day. You know, the energy that makes your heart beat. The things that make the plants available to be here. All of it is the Most High. The Most High has access to all of it. You understand what I'm saying? So how can he not send the word to his creation? Hey, let's go, fix up. Especially early back then. I imagine, back then, for sure. Like, and I'm saying back then, like is any time before that? Is anything before that? Yeah, all the way there. Yeah, they were definitely closer to the power of the Spirit, definitely probably being way more intense, manifesting way more deeper and more impactful than it. We ain't seen it since, but the scripture says there's going to be some humans living that's going to see that thing. And per the prophecies is how they been coming down the pipeline. And even them prophecies is in the Apocrypha that they want to keep ignoring, because they know it's in there and they don't want you knowing that it's in there. I don't care anymore. So I don't care. Can't no man tell me anything outside of what the Most High tells me. That's First John right there. And I don't disrespect any of these people who they feel however they feel. Oh, I'm only going to deal with this 66, even though the 66 makes reference to these apocryphal books. And even though history makes reference to them and know that they came from the chosen ones. But then you have these liars and these posers that want to try and make it about whatever they want to make it about. And y'all know who they are. So we don't need to really specify. If you know. The Most High has put on my heart as it comes to this vlog that, the ruffling of feathers and calling things out, that's unnecessary. Those who know his voice, those who are his sheep, those who are his little children, if you will, like he refers to the Spirit, like he refers to his followers, the ones who love him and are called according to his purpose. They know his voice. So they know, what's up, what time it is. They know that I'm not here preaching against redemption or grace or salvation through the sacrifice of the Son. That I'm not doing that. A lot of people be like, well, why would you deal with this? Oh, all that matters is just all you need to know is that. Nah, because, there's some things that's happening on this planet. There's some oppression that's going on, and there are prophecies in place to make sure that oppression does not continue to happen, because if it does, the humans would be lost. And they're not going to. The Most High always has a remnant. And I believe we have it. Me personally, I believe we're living at the time where that last remnant before the new heaven and the new earth. Meaning the final trump, man. The final trumpet is that call, that blast, that warning. Understand, when you're dealing, and we're gonna get back to the text, but the Spirit is speaking right here. And I've learned how to let these things happen. When you're dealing with the trumpet in the ancient Hebrew, that in antiquity, back in their time, the trumpet was it's communication. It's communication. The trumpet was a warning. The trumpet was for joy. The trumpet was for sending commands in at warfare. The trumpet was for feasts. It was for alert. It was alarm clock. It was an indicator. It was a motivator. It was a way to communicate. because there was so many of them at some point. They had to find ways to get, hey, when you hear this many trumpet blasts, short or long, it means this. Hey, how many of y'all ever been to camp before and they got a bell? That camp got a bell or a horn. And they tell you, hey, if you hear continual long blast from this bell or this horn or this PA system, that's a trumpet. If you understand what I'm saying here, that's a way of warning, a way of communication. Hey, maybe we got a camper that's fell off a boat and we got a missing camper, or it's dinner time, or at the hour you're hearing the time countdown. It's an alert, okay? So you have to understand, final trumpet, you're not gonna hear no you're not gonna hear no old what they call it, the chauffeur, is it shoof? I forget what it's called, but with the horn that they used to have. But you're not going to hear no trumpet blast. You're going to hear a word. There's going to be a warning. There's going to be a spirit. There's going to be a vibration. There's going to be a prophecy. There's going to be an affirmation of prophecy that's going to happen. That's going to be the thing. That's the trumpet. That's the trumpet blast that we're waiting for. You better be hearing it too, because if you are off and you want to ignore it, I ain't gotta listen to that because I'm waiting for the real true trumpet to blast and for all the humans to disappear and their clothes still be here in the rapture. That's Hollywood. But I'm gonna just get off that because then they want to start calling you crazy and shut your vlog down. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it pushing in these scriptures. But you heard what the Most High just said right there. My sheep know my voice. That's what he says. Not me, because I'm a man. I'm a human. This is just a vessel and a servant. So what he's saying is, he says, he's been present on my mind. My sheep know my voice, and they're going to hear. And everybody else that want to bicker and they want to debate and they want to try to undercut you and throw you under the bus and all that, then whatever, son. Just keep doing what I told you to do. All right? So he sent this word and he raised them. Okay? It said right there. And said to Adam, O Adam, all this misery which thou hast brought upon thyself, or which thou hast wrought upon yourself, will not avail against my rule, neither will it alter the covenant of the 5,500 years. Go back and listen to the other chapters, and it talks about that. Listen, Yeshua is even prophesied in the books of Adam and Eve. That's why I'm like, people that be like, oh man, it's fake. It's not. We don't even know where it really came from. You can tell Moses is the author of it. It plugs it. Who would write it? Who would write the need for redemption? Men who want to control don't write the need for redemption into things, y'all. In fact, a lot of them, they so prideful, they think they don't even need the redemption. So I'm just saying, man, I know what the Most High told me to do. So whatever. If you feel some type of way about it, take it up with the Most High. I don't care. So I'm just telling you, I'm not going to get in no trouble. I'm not about to get my butt beat over. I'm not about to get my spirit beat down because of you wanting to try to make me shut up. Oh, well, you take it up with the Most High. You'll find out, just like I did. Chapter 22, Adam in a chivalrous mood. Let's see what happens. Then Adam said to God, or said to the Most High, I wither in the heat. He said, it's hot. Like, I can't take this. I am faint from walking, and I am tired of this world. I'm loath of this world. I am not happy here. This is irritating in the mug. I be feeling that sometimes, like, man, what in the world is going up around this boy? This is crazy, Most High. He says, and he said, so I know not when you will bring me out of it to rest. You gotta think about it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but they got a rude awakening ahead of them. Because they're about to walk this thing out. And then we all the way here are still walking it out. But I'm telling y'all, the kingdom of the Most High is at hand. For real, for real. Just like John the Baptist was warning them, and he was the Elijah by Malachi that was prophesied to come, that John the Baptizer, that Yachanan the Baptizer. Yeah, man. Okay? John, Juan, Yachanan. Yeah, it all relates back to John. Okay? That baptizer, that one who was sending the warning, the word, that's a trumpet. He was a trumpet. John the Baptist is a trumpet. Understand? You understand? Even Yahshua himself was the trumpet. You understand? Anyway, let's keep going. Yahshua himself was everything. He was a manifestation of God in the flesh. But he still told them people, hey, worship the Father in heaven. Don't worship me. Worship the Father in heaven. But I do tell you that the Spirit is in me and he's in you too. But you need to be worshiping the Father. You can't worship yourself. You can't worship each other. Worship the Father in heaven. No. Hey, I worship the Father in heaven. Is that not what Yeshua said? That's what he said. Anyhow, let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving. Let's keep moving. Okay, so he's like, when you gonna bring me out of this to rest? When am I gonna have some separation from this, Most High? Then the Most High said unto him, O Adam, it cannot be at present, not until you have ended your days. So man, not until you have all these prophecies have been fulfilled, until you have walked it out, like from what I told you from this point, because maybe it was going to take this long for there to be humans on the planet who dig into this so serious and that they realize, hey, guess what? Just like Adam and Eve chose to step down and they knew better, I know better, and I'm choosing to step up, and I'm choosing to stay up there. And with the grace of because of the salvation of the sacrifice of the Son, that's why I have access again. But I can't think that just because the sacrifice of the Son has given me access that I'm just exempt. Like I don't need to be worried about temptation or sin crouching at the door. I have to be keen because the enemy is cunning and crafty. And I have to be ready to make the proper decisions to make sure that I say where I'm supposed to be. And then the Most High blesses. That, the scripture says that's why obedience is better than sacrifice. Because once you start tripping, you're going to have to give something up to get back up here. That's what the Israelites were going through with always having to make the sacrifice. It was the sign. It was the ritual around us being tapped into the Most High. Like, you understand? They kept having to do that sacrificing. Well, then Yahshua comes along. That's the sacrifice now. You don't have to keep sacrificing. But that sacrifice there is how many more times do you need to sacrifice something before you start realizing, be obedient. That's what the scriptures just said, okay? Coming back full circle on that. So let's keep going. He says, how long for you to take me out of here? Then Adam said to the Most High God, while I was in the garden, I knew neither heat nor languor, neither moving. That languor, Languor. I want to look that word up. We're going to have to look that word up. I probably should pause this video, but I don't want to accidentally stop it because I'll be doing that sometimes. So we're going to look this word up. Okay, the state of feeling often pleasant, of tiredness or inertia, an oppressive stillness in the air. Wow. Okay, so he's saying, I didn't know no tiredness. I didn't know no feeling of not having no energy. That's deep right there. What does the scripture say about heaven? New heaven, new earth. You won't know tiredness. You won't know sickness. You're going to be, he's basically saying, I'm going to take you back up to where I had originally designed for you to be before the mother and father of your race transgressed against me. Okay. So neither moving about nor trembling nor fear, but now since I came to this land, all this affliction has come upon me. All these things have come upon me. All these energies, these feelings have come upon me. Then the Most High said to Adam, so long as you was keeping my commandment, my light and my grace rested on you. But when you transgress my commandment, sorrow and misery befell you in this land. Man, like, let's keep going. And Adam wept and said, yeah, that's heavy. Adam wept and said, O Most High, O Lord, O Highest One, do not cut me off for this, neither smite me with heavy plagues, nor yet repay me according to my sin. For we of our own will did transgress your commandment, and we turned away your law, and sought to become gods like unto thee, when Satan the enemy deceived us, or when the dark one deceived us. You have to understand English with these capital letters and these different phrases and words and things. That's just how they are. But you have to understand, back in Hebrew, that Satan, that means dark one, the dark one, the unenlightened one, the one who was lower, deceived us. The name was not Satan, just like their name, just like his name was not Adam and her name was not Eve. Okay, they're reference points. Okay, so then the Most High said again to Adam, or the first man, so we understand, because you has borne fear and trembling in this land, languor or tiredness, or just feeling afflicted and suffering, treading and walking about, going upon this mountain and dying from it, I will take all this upon myself in order to save thee. Now, you know how I always said in the book, if you go listen to, like, I've done the first 5 chapters of Genesis, and after I finish the books of Adam and Eve, we're going to pick back up in Noah, chapter 6. But you know how I said, like, I feel like they were in a different state of being? I do not believe that takes anything away from the salvation. All these things are just really interesting, and they can really add some depth and understanding to some things. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's not trying to make a new doctrine or anything. But I find it very interesting that Adam said we didn't have to be walking around like this. What do they mean they didn't have to be walking around like that? And remember that the Spirit says the Father says to them in the books in a few chapters ago, go listen to all the rest of the videos up to this point. If you get to this point in the video, go listen to them. It's very interesting stuff, very good stuff. And I am going in order, so it's good. Remember what it says, I put the skin upon you that had the hot and cold, the regulation of things, right? Remember when I said we was reading in Genesis and I was like, man, the skin, they often want you to think, oh, it was the skin of an animal. Nah. It was, I believe it was the literal skin because they were in a different state. This right here would kind of indicate that because, well, if they're not physically walking, then are they flying? Like I said, I believe they were swimming. Or, hey, look, I don't know. They could have been floating. Who knows? Maybe they were just who knows? But I just find it very interesting that he's like, man, why we got to be walking all around? Weren't y'all already walking around? Y'all was already walking, right? But remember what it says about the Spirit of the Most High. It says, oh, the Spirit was walking around the garden. But then Adam, in these books, it says he didn't even know what the Most High looked like because the sun came up and he thought it was the Most High. Why would he think the sun was the Most High? Because the Most High was probably super bright. Who know? Yo, this stuff is interesting, man. I can't even front, yo. This is very interesting. Very interesting. But let's keep going. I mean, because we walking now, Homo erectus now, right? Like, and I'm dealing with this thing as a man walking on the earth now, having to sleep and toil, right? So, that walking is just very interesting. Suffering, treading, and walking about. Y'all weren't already walking? So you see what I'm saying? So, and that's the Most High saying that to them. That was the Most High saying that to them. Look, real fast. That was the Most High saying that to them. He's like, because you have borne fear and trembling in this land, tiredness and suffering, treading and walking about. That's the Most High saying it to him. Like, you the one have to do that now because you didn't listen. I mean, I love you, and I'm not going to and remember what he told him. I'm not going to completely make you dark like I did to that other being, that Lucifer, that Satan, that devil, that low vibing one, that darkened one, that one who separated himself away from me, who transgressed before you. I'm not going to completely make you dark like that one. I'm not going to completely just remove your ability to have the light in you. because I want y'all gonna be redeemed. I'm not about to lose this part of y'all creation. Y'all too precious to me. It just is what it is. So maybe the Spirit knew it was gonna take however many thousands of years before the there was somebody walking around. And even with Yeshua coming, Yeshua wasn't a typical human, right? So then we would have to, Yeshua was very important, because I'm here recording this vlog right now because of the life of Yeshua and how it popped up in these scriptures and how I love these scriptures. And I'm just saying, that that's why Yeshua was necessary. But then when you really think about it, like what I'm saying, the first man and the first woman chose to step down. They did. They disobeyed. That was a choice, just like the Father's telling them. And now they're realizing it and they hate it. Well, us here, we have to choose to step up and walk it out, and don't keep trying to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You don't have no choice, human. Do good, that's it. And that do good, that's it. Now, that goes back to, okay, so if your neighbor eats meat and you keep on going up to the fence looking over, what are they over there doing? You're sinning. The Most High is you're gonna die and go to hell because you're not supposed to be eating that. When we talk about that sin, we're talking about the state where you're clearly doing things that the Spirit is like, hey, son, daughter, yeah. Or if it's written that this is clear cut, all the sins is clear cut already written. Okay? It's clear cut already written. There are things that men want to make a sin that they ain't a sin, and I'm not even gonna say it on this video, but there are little lessons, outlines that I'm gonna do about certain things. Like, hey, I'll just say, is alcohol a sin? Is wine a sin? Is this a sin? Or how do we need to approach this thing? How do you really need to approach it? If you ever heard of the 12 testaments of the 12 sons, Judah tells his family, tells the Israelites, whoever's all around, he tells them on his deathbed, stay away from the alcohol if you can help it. Because which one among y'all has the self-control to not be fornicating? Because alcohol is a strong lead to fornication. So stay away from it. And Judah had deep regret in his spirit concerning things that he did. And he's like, alcohol was there when I did that. So stay away from it if you can't. He's like, look, I would rather you just stay away from it because, and you got to know this about the Judeans. You have to know this about the Israelites. They loved wine. They loved having a good time, celebrating, festival, partying, having that wine, chilling, doing their thing. And Judah's like, which one of y'all can really have the self-control? Because if you can, okay, but I would just strongly urge you to stay away from it. That's literally what he tells him on his deathbed. I'm going to read all that to y'all too. Yeah, the Most High wants me reading all of it to y'all. I got all of it. So we're going to get through all of it. We're going to go through all of it. Get ready. I'm telling you, start packing up for the long haul on this vlog, because you're not going to miss anything, because it's going every single time. It's going to be something new, fresh, moving forward. Okay, that's how the Most High wants it. So let's go ahead. I just did chapter 21, 22, and this is 23. I'm going to do this chapter. Just this one will be a little bit longer. I'm just going to do this chapter. Not this chapter, but just the video. Probably about 45 minutes. Adam and Eve gird themselves and make the first altar ever built. Wow. Then Adam wept more and said, O Most High, have mercy on me so far as to take upon thee that which I will do. But the Most High took his word from Adam and Eve. Then Adam and Eve stood on their feet and said to Eve, gird thyself, and I will also gird myself. And she girded herself as Adam told her. So I'm just covering themselves. Make yourself ready. Okay. So now we're starting to see the covering of the skin, but we just heard the Father tell them, I'm about to enwrap you in this skin. So was they always like in this state, or were they in a different state? And it's okay if they were in a different state, because what is it changing? What is it changing about what we really have going on here with this walk? Nothing. So anyhow, you just got them people that would be like, oh, why do you need to go over there and worry about it? All you need to worry about is the salvation of Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course. However, Why do we not need to deal with these things that have been deceived and hid from us, and not and they tried to separate us away from the way that the Most High has for us to learn and get where we have to get, to understand what we have going on and who we really are. It does not negate the sacrifice of Yahshua, but I think it's very wise to put yourself on these things. Look, Deuteronomy says all the things revealed, all of them. And that means no matter how complex they are, if the Most High lets us get to it, we're supposed to be getting to it to decipher and figure out what's going on, and encode and let it or decode and let it teach us and lift us up and get us to where we're supposed to be. And he says that's for you and your children forevermore, when he spoke that to that generation during Deuteronomy. But then he says all the secret things that are hidden that you don't know about. And we're not talking about the apocryphal books that they tried to take away, that they removed, and, you know, all that different stuff, because they're the ones who did it, because it was already with the original. They felt some type of way about it, the ones who took it out. Because why do all of these ancient sources have these scrolls with them? And they came from the Hebrews. Even the first one, like the Latin Vulgate, the Sumerian, all that, like, they have all these things. But then down the line, here come the English, here come the Roman Catholic, here come all these Europeans that just want to be like, oh, hey, well, we're just going to take this out. We're just going to switch the image of the sun. We're just going to add slave and master, so that all these slaves know that that's God's will for them to be our slaves. Get out of here, bro. Anyway, I'm just going to keep reading. I'm not going to be rude or disrespectful, because the Spirit has been dealing with me about that. So let me make sure that because he knows I'm fiery. I'll say it. That's why he always picked me to be the one, like, hey, man, I want you to go speak out and say that. I don't care. I'll go say it. All right. So, all right, girding themselves. Then Adam and Eve took stones and placed them in the shape of an altar. So they built a monument, okay? And they took leaves from the trees outside the garden, with which they wiped from the face of the rock the blood they had spilled. But that which had dropped on the sand, they took together with the dust with it, and it was mingled and offered it upon the altar as an offering unto the Most High. Okay, so they kind of use it as an offering. Maybe, that's what they said. Okay, so then Adam and Eve stood under the altar and wept, thus entreating God, or like trying to get his attention. Forgive us our trespass and our sin, and look upon us with your eye of mercy. For when we were in the garden, our praises and our hymns went up before you without ceasing. But when we came into this strange land, pure praise was no longer ours, nor righteous prayer, nor understanding hearts, nor sweet thoughts, nor just counsels, nor long discernment, nor upright feelings, neither as our bright nature has left us. But our body is changed from the similitude in which it was at first. What I said, they were in a different state when we were created. Yet now look upon our blood, this stuff that's in us, because they wouldn't have known it was blood, but understand, this is just for you to understand what's going on, okay? This translation and things. Now look upon our blood, which is offered upon these stones, or look upon this stuff in us. This is us that's offered upon these stones and accepted at our hands, please. Like the praise we used to sing unto you at first when in the garden. And Adam began to make more requests unto the Most High God. Okay? Okay, so that is the end of chapter 23. There was a little footnote here, but I'm not going to read that footnote. Okay, that's the end of the chapter. That has something to do with the footnote. Just has something to do with just like a prayer, and it's not pertaining. I don't need to say it. So y'all be blessed. Thank you for listening to this video. I know this one may have been, I think this one would be pretty easy for you to get through if you understand what's being said. But for some, it might be a little bit more difficult because there was a little bit more heavier commentary. If the Spirit is moving and speaking, I'm going to let that happen. And I'm not going to stifle that at all. I refuse to do that. And then if the Spirit tells me to keep it pushing, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to be obedient. Because I've learned when you are disobedient, that sacrifice junk, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You don't have time for that neither. You just, some of us be lying to ourselves. Well, some people be lying to themselves because I'm not us. I can't fall into that us. The Spirit always be like, and I be like, man, forgive us, God. We just are so ignorant. And the Spirit be like, son, you're not ignorant. And stop putting yourself with them. Don't do that. Some people are ignorant. What do you mean we? Anyhow, y'all be blessed. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, share this information with somebody. Okay, don't be afraid to share this information with somebody. I think like some people were just like so worried about like what man is going to think. Oh man, he's reading the books of Adam and Eve. I've never even heard of that. Oh my God. Yeah, well, research them. Actually, you could just listen to the intro of these videos here. Like I told you, click on the playlist, The Books of Adam and Eve, and listen to the introduction. It's about 35 minutes. And it's not even a chapter being read out of it, but I read the introduction that came with the source that I'm reading with, and it is very potent. And when they tell you that part of the text, like they know that some of it can be attributed to Egypt, like Egyptian writing. Well, Moses would have known how to write in Egyptian, and Aaron would have been the one writing in Hebrew. You gotta understand that. Understand that. Understand that. Okay? So, you know, but then there's also Hebrew influence that is there. It's just these things were translated by different cultures at different times, but it always goes back to its original root. This thing is potent. It's plugging in too much. When you listen to this and you just really pay attention to it, it's not taking anything away from the scriptures. It adds to it. And then when you go to the scriptures, the scriptures affirm what's happening here. And they affirm what's happening in the scriptures. It's a flow. That's one of the indicators. Shortcut indicators right there. That's the Spirit of the Most High. Listen, y'all, we are all of us who believe in the Father, we are the continuation of even Revelation and the charge to go, you know, have the ones who have the gospel, the sweet feet. You know how blessed are the feet of they who carry the gospel? Yeah, we are continuing, like all of our stories, testimonies, if we write them and we get to compiling things from there to now, that's going to be the Most High moving and speaking and showing his glory, showing his power, you know, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing as what we have with the scriptures, y'all. All right, so you have some scriptures where people are prophets, and it's some of them writings. That's why he told them, hey, don't write this down, because he knew certain things was going to get through, and certain things was just for that prophet, or maybe it was for something else that didn't have nothing to do with this right here. And the Most High needed certain things to be happening in a very specific way. So, all right, the Spirit saying that's it, y'all. Thank you for listening to this one. It's a little bit longer, but I think you'll be blessed by it. I was blessed by it. I go back and listen to all these, and I'm always blessed, man. Some of these I almost be in tears at some of these points, at the points here, because it's just so powerful and so potent. And when you just look at some of this work here, and not the work, but when you look at some of these words here in this great work, these I don't know, yo. Like I just, everything is going where it's supposed to be going, y'all. The Most High got us. If you believe in the Most High, then he got you. If you don't believe in the Most High, all you have to do to get up there and understand what he has going on is talk to him. You know, talk to him. You have to believe on the sacrifice of the Son. Talk to him. You know, press upon the Spirit, just like Adam and Eve. Keep press in and talk to him. You know, get you some scriptures, get you a Bible and read it. You know, read it from start to finish. You don't, if you don't know where to start at the book of John. That's always a good place. You know, they always kind of tell you that's a good place to start. But you really need to start in the beginning. You need to start in the beginning. You need to understand what the Most High was doing for thousands of years before all them New Testament cats even pop up, before Yeshua pops up. You understand? Man, I can keep going right here, man, because it's the spirit is intense and thick with me right now. So I have to tell myself to be quiet, and the spirit has to say, son, let him go. Y'all be blessed, man. Peace.